Hello and good evening, everybody, and we have just arrived. We have just begun. I know I mentioned the late broadcast will start at 9:30, but looks like time is apparently on my side. I am your host for tonight, Miyogi, and welcome to the best of 64 knockouts of the promotion stage of Racing Masters Hyundai Cup. And now we have already finished the second session of Group 1B's race featuring TBC Rico, Peeps, The Win, and Afik BMX 21. And as per results earlier, Afik's BMX is still leading in by points with 18 points, followed by, I believe it's The Win and TBC Rico on second place, tied at 12 points, and Peeps is down below with 11. We're already entering to round 3 here, where we're going to be having it at San Francisco Circuit. Everybody else will be in the Koenigsegg 1-1. Afik BMX 21 will be in the Ferrari Monza SP1 2019. And safe to say, based on this car lineup, Group 1B would be in Pool B, because they have done Pool A previously on another day. So Afik BMX is going to be the odd one out here. We all know that the Ferrari Monza SP1 would have blistering top speeds down San Francisco's hilly downhill. That will be the selecting point. He may fall off a little bit on the first section throughout the downtown area, but what we all know, this is Afik. We know that even the most notoriously bad cars, he can make miracles happen with them. Our camera focus right now is with Peeps, and everyone is off on launch. All Koenigsegg's are all together, but at the same time, Afik BMX has already joined into the fray, immediately going into the lead. Now let's actually switch cameras over to our second placer, The Win, who is now on a one-on-one duel with Afik's Ferrari Monza here on downtown section of San Francisco, California. Very smooth light angle drifts there going from The Win and with Afik. The Win barely inching a lead, but overshoots to the outside and hits the outer wall. Afik also hitting the inner wall this time as they climb their way up into the peak of San Francisco's infamous hills. But The Win was able to capitalize on some slipstream and is now leading the race against Afik. The 1-1 is showing its dominance, but at the same time, Afiq Baymax with the Ferrari Monza showing that all power is done by the prancing horse. Now into the downhill section, we know that this would be the highlight moment of the Ferrari Monza, assuming Afiq gets proper and full control of the Ferrari. But the Koenigsegg's are just right behind. The win with a little bit of some hesitation. TBC Rico now takes the lead. We are now going to switch cameras onto Afiq Baymax, who is currently in the slipstream of the Koenigsegg 1-1. We know that the Koenigsegg 1-1 has better slipstream and has equally high speed as opposed to the Ferrari Monza. The Ferrari Monza underwhelming on that section. However, its speed capacity during drifts is much more better controlled than the Koenigsegg, which is very, very tail happy. Whereas the SP1 refuses at some moments to drift and would take a little bit of some pressure in order to do so. Pressure that Afiq is having no absolute issue with, as the gap is slowly widening between the Ferraris and the Koenigseggs as they go through once again in lap 2 on the downtown section of San Francisco, California. But TBC Go just right behind with a 0.25 second gap, as he's gonna be using the slipstream to catch up to Afiq once they make their way up the hill once again. Just like to let you guys know, if this is your first time in the channel, I'd just like to encourage you all to subscribe, as we will be tackling the remainder of the Best of 64, Best 32, Best 16, and the Best 8 here in this channel. Now they're going to be going through the downhill section of Chinatown, and Afiq is already making leagues against all these Swedish monsters. Afiq is handling the Ferrari Monza in a way that any one of us could dream. We all know that the Monza is very notorious for its really hard handling capacity, but Afiq handles it in a manner that it feels just like a LaFerrari. Now going to the final section, and suddenly two Koenigseggs appear from the side. Now can Afiq capitalize and hold on to its lead? And across the line, it is very absolutely tight. Results are in. Afiq's win streak has been taken down. Now the winner of that race is TBC Rico, pushing their leagues up to 21 points. Afiq still holding on to pole position with 25 points. The win inching almost into third to second place with just 17 points, but lasted on third. And Peeps once again drops down to fourth place with a consistent 12-point finish. Now we are going to be entering into the final race, which is an off-road stage here in Group 1B, where the selection may probably just be between, and do correct me if I got the pool incorrect, between the Lamborghini Urus and the Toyota Land Cruiser. Right, we're just waiting now for the official referee to start the race, as all the members are now ready to conclude Group 1B. Now this is going to be an easy map compared to before. This was going to be held at Persian Gulf's Bay Tides. The win, TBC Rico, Afiq Baymax, and Peeps. Afiq barely holding on, so definitely this is going to be the Lamborghini Urus Performante against the Toyota Land Cruiser. Now everyone will be selecting the much better car of the two, the Lamborghini Urus Performante, here in Bay Tides. Afiq barely holding on with 25 points. TBC Rico and the win has already broken off their tie, 21 points to DBC Rico. According to live chat here, according to Jen_Sun, Rico is one of the best known Koenigsegg 1-1 players. We have seen it happen. That last second pass says a lot. Now, this map is going to be going through the beach area first, going to a steep uphill, going through the Indian village, and finishing off in the horizon. I love to call it the Horizon Festival. I know it is Persia, it is not Mexico, but I'll still call it that. So the finish line will be at the Horizon Festival. Peeps once again as our camera focus. TBC Rico on the lead, Afiq Baymax on second place. The win suddenly losing traction as he falls off very far back. TBC Rico and Afiq Baymax are now fighting it out here into the Indian village as they make a light left. Can the Peeps capitalize and break the last place streak once and for all? Or will Afiq make one final comeback against the server's top Koenigsegg driver? Double jumps from the peats right there. That's gonna cost him a lot, and he lands into the boulders. Once again, he is now stuck on the loop. Let us now focus to TBC Rico, who is already overtaken by Afik Baymax. Afik building an entirely huge gap. This is definitely guaranteed, but it also guarantees the positions. Afik Baymax goes into first. TBC Rico also qualifies into the best 32 matchup. Now we're going to be leaving right away because we're going to be jumping straight into the next lobby, which is Group 2A. Group 2A is going to be comprised of Valentines, Friendly, Knights, and Dim. We've seen their performances back then in the best 128. All 4 combatants are of equal caliber, but only 2 of them will be able to advance. Looks like Valentines is going to be handling a couple of last-minute setting adjustments before confirming to the referee that they'll be able to participate in the next round. And this would be a good time for me to remind all of you that the Hyundai and Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the champion car themed outfits, Hyundai and collaboration decal, and the classic 1975 Hyundai Pony. Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage. It offers both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the event. Use them in the exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, diamonds, and other rewards. I encourage you all to enter the game, make progress in the Battle Pass, guess who would be the ones claiming first in their respective groups, and use the event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards. Now we're still waiting on Valentines to make their final adjustments, and live chat has confirmed. Jay and Son once again mentioned this is going to be Team Valentines versus Team Dim. So, sorry, correction. Valentines and Dim are actually from the same team. CM Friendly is from Cosmic. Meanwhile, Knights is representing Up to You. So we have 2 standalone representatives against a pair from Exemble. And high chance, according to our live chat here, that the Exemble players will be the ones to advance. Okay, so Valentine's has now officially confirmed that they are now ready to begin. Now we're just waiting for the referee to officially start 2A. The race now is going to be held at Chicago's half circuit on a rainy and night weather condition. Speaking of rainy, to those watching in the Philippines, do be careful that it is very, very wet outside. Monsoon rains are happening, so if ever you're outside, please be sure you're carrying an umbrella with you. Dim right now comes in, and Valentine's as well with the Nissan S15 Spec R. But Dim makes a last-minute change to the Volkswagen Beetle, also used by CM Friendly and Knights. The Volkswagen Beetle, this is the first time we are seeing it in the promotion stage, and is one of the welfare cars in a previous season. Meanwhile, the Nissan S15 is notoriously known in the early seasons to be the undisputed top standard vehicle prior to the debut of the Mazda RX-7 FD. Valentine's has our camera focus, and they are off. The Beetles are off with an amazingly good start. The Nissan S15 is not known for its launch, so Valentine's will have to struggle a little bit from behind, but he is now right behind his teammate Dim as they make their way through 2 laps of Chicago's half circuit. Valentine's is also flexing what seems to be a D1 spec drift body kit that is available exclusively to the Nissan S15. Meanwhile, Dim's, Friendly, and Knights are all using a bare bones body stock Volkswagen Beetle into their run. The Beetle may be old, but it's also known to carry like around 810 performance index points at estimate. While we're waiting for this race to finish, Tactician XD9 is asking how many groups are covered in this stream. We will be covering half of the best of 64, which is Group 1 all the way to Group 4. The Valentine's is leading. We are now seeing the performance of the S15 in action. It may be unstable, but once it has come terms to its pace, it can slowly and consistently just build gap, even despite the performance index difference. Valentine's and Dims are consistent on a 1-2 finish. Knights and CM Friendly apparently been struggling with the Herbie Mobile, locked down on 2 seconds and 6 seconds respectively. Valentine's now clearing just seems to be a couple of more corners before the race ends, and is making sure that he keeps their teammate Dim within vision of the rearview mirror. As what we can see here, using the S15 over the Volkswagen Beetle seems to be the ideal choice. Though the Volkswagen Beetle is known to have high performance index ratings, the S15 is known to accelerate much faster and much better compared to the newer released Welfare. Going to the last two 90-degree hairpins, and Dims a little bit losing speed throughout those 90-degree hairpins, but across the line, Valentine's finishes Dims in second place. With a lap time of 2 minutes and 7 seconds, both from Exemble are now currently about to qualify for top 32. Knights comes in third place with 5 points, and CM Friendly with 4 points, with a total lap time of 2 minutes and 13. Alright, let me just double check once again on live chat here. Crooked Man comments, is it raining there, Sir Miyogi? That's nice. It's really hot here. Please do let us know from which area in the world are you watching the Racing Master Hyundai Cup from. Now we're just waiting for the referee to confirm everyone's readiness into the next stage, which is going to be on a sports race. Valentine's is confirmed ready, and it's once again going to be in Chicago. Now, Valentine's comes in with the Ferrari Roma, which we know is buffed here in SEA. Dims, Friendly, and Knights have yet to make their selection. Dims and Friendly are both also selecting the Ferrari Roma. While we're waiting on Knights' selection, let us at least confirm that because they have already used Pool A, which is the Prime Legendary lineup, we may not be seeing any Prime Legendaries tonight. Knights comes in with a Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet, which is a Season 2 release. Meanwhile, I do believe the Ferrari Roma is around Season 10 or Season 11, which is a very unique case, because Ferraris are known to have really tail-happy bodies, but the Roma is more known to be on a balanced state, as opposed to something like, say, the McLaren 570S. And now they're off. The Porsche 911 with its all-wheel drive system manages to take the lead, but the superior handling of the Ferrari Romas have already taken the lead. Dim hits the wall a little bit. Valentine's now retakes the lead. Our camera focus tonight is with CM Friendly here in Chicago Circuit. The full reverse layout. Oh, it's the forward layout. My mistake. Valentine's and Dim are once again front and back on first and second place respectively. CM Friendly now in third place, fighting it out with Dim. Valentine slowly building the lead, while Dim is stuck behind with a bit of a dogfight. But Dim is able to pull away from CM Friendly. CM Friendly now trying to keep pace with the Ferrari Romas. Knights is struggling from behind with a very huge deficit of a 3-second gap. Sure, the 911 may have the better launch and a little bit of the better handling, but its overall performance stat is much inferior compared to the better newly released Ferrari Roma, which I do believe is like at around 930 performance index or 918. Right, CM Friendly now able to overtake Dim, but goes a little bit too wide. Dim recovers the second place position. Valentine still within arm's reach, but is continuously holding the lead. CM Friendly having a little bit of some trouble there with the Ferrari Roma, but Dims and Valentines don't seem to be having that issue whatsoever. Probably it's because Dims and Valentines are taking a little bit of a lighter drift angle as to opposed to CM Friendly, who is taking a bit more wild drift angle as opposed to the other two. As you can see there, he was a bit on the red line and is losing out a lot of some top end speed at corner exit, just slowly building the gap. Meanwhile, Dims is in the rhythm alongside their partner Valentine, and we may be seeing another 1-2 finish here. But Knights is still fighting strong into this race and has recovered its 5.5 second gap down to a 4.1. But once we get to the long straights, you know that gap is just gonna increase further. And this may be it for Knights. Meanwhile, CM Friendly may have a little bit of a fighting chance provided they get to catch up to Dim and Valentine, who are apparently just right next to each other in terms of the consistent distance. Dim just right there, barely clinging onto Valentine's slipstream, but is able to keep the gap to an absolute minimum. Dim and Valentine's right into the underpass tunnel of Chicago as they make their way down back to the downtown section, and looks like Dims is able to keep up no trouble at all because he is facing against their own team partner Valentine's. Dims now slowly closing in. Are they probably going to be exchanging positions here now that CM Friendly is far out back with 2.5 seconds of a gap? Dims still within slipstream range as they make one last turn. It is a perfect twin tandem drift between Dims and Valentine's in their Ferrari Romas. One final corner to go. Now, are they going to be tying it out, or are they going to let Valentine's take pole in this race? And looks like it's going to be one neck and neck finish, but apparently just by a nose, Valentine's takes first place, followed by Dims, CM Friendly on third, and of course our Porsche 911 contender right there, Knights, in fourth place. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for the next race to happen, just like to remind all of you that in Racing Master is teaming up with Hyundai N for the first time to launch the regional competition, the Hyundai N/Racing Master Cup. The top 8 players from all 4 regions will gather in Seoul, Korea on September 19 during the Game Esports Show at Seoul to compete for the championship, along with substantial cash prizes and an exclusive in-game title. Tune into the online Grand Final livestream to share the Million Diamond giveaway and claim random in-game redemption codes. I encourage you all to guess who will represent the SEA, who will be the top 8 that will go to Seoul. And let's tune into the Grand Final livestream to claim further rewards and cheer for their regional players. We already received confirmation that the next race is about to happen, and once again, it will be in Chicago. CM Friendly in the Koenigsegg Agera RS, the recently buffed Koenigsegg Agera RS. Dim will be in the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR Strassen version alongside Valentine's. Meanwhile, Knights will be in the Aston Martin Valhalla concept. So this is a third race out of 3 that is held in Chicago for Group 2A. Our camera focus now would be with Knights. We've seen the performance of the Aston Martin Valhalla in a previous group and has already decimated the CLKs, even though the CLK is the much newer vehicle in the bunch. But let us not forget the fact that the Koenigsegg Agera RS had a substantial performance increase. Now the camera focuses on Knights. The race has just started, and we're seeing Knights now redeeming themselves from the past 2 races, and is now currently in second place behind Valentine's. CM Friendly is just right behind on third, but it's now overtaken by Dim. CM Friendly drops down with the Agera onto fourth, while Knights is fighting off the 2 Le Mans 24R contenders based off the McLaren F1 GTR. Unfortunately, Knights hits the inner wall, building gap bigger against Dim and Valentine's. Looks like Dim is having a bit of some network issues, but that didn't deter his performance at all. Dim and Valentine's are once again building gap as they make their way through lap 2 on the half circuit of Chicago. Let's camera focus now into Dim. Are we going to be seeing another 1-2 close race finish? But Dim accidentally hits the wall there, nearly clips the wall onto the second U-turn, onto the next 90-degree hander. Dim with a bit of a gap from the apex. Meanwhile, Valentine's is clipping every apex he sees, granting that they are able to master the grip potential of the renowned grip king, the Mercedes CLK GTR Strassen version Super Sport. We're about 77% out into this race, and Valentine's and Dim are really standing strong in their positions. Dim with a little bit of some clipping once again onto the inner wall, a bit too much on the inner wall. Meanwhile, Valentine's is now building tremendous gap. Dim is now just playing hooky, doing a little bit of a slalom show into the bridge. But the gap between them and Knights is too substantial to even care. As they cross the line, the two Mercedes CLKs show that they are the superior grip machine as opposed to the Aston Martin Valhalla. Here are our results. The CLK comes in at 27 and 21 respectively. Knights with 14 points and CM Friendly with 4 points, bringing their scores up to 14 and 13 respectively. We're just waiting on to the last race of Group 2A as everyone is now confirming their availability for the next race. Valentine's and Dim are guaranteed to advance. Now, the only way for CM Friendly or Knights to be able to capitalize is if they keep Dim on last place. Let me double check onto the live chat here, and Tactician XD9 mentions CLK versus TSRS comparison. Now this would, in a power aspect, that is a bit of an unfair comparison, but in game we do know that the Zenvo TSRS, originally based on the Zenvo ST1, is the successor to the Mercedes-Benz CLK on the department of launch and acceleration, whereas the CLK still dominates in top speed and overall easiness in handling drifts. CM Friendly, Knights, and Valentines will all be going in with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 2023 model. Now, will Dims choose a different vehicle for this route, or would they also be using the same vehicle as that of their partner and everybody else? And looks like it will be the latter, as everyone will be in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. The map is going to be at Seaside Tour, a fairly easy map as this makes their way from the peak of the ruins into the beach side. Knights is going to be our camera person. Will Dims and Valentines bring a landslide victory to Assemble, or will Knights or CM Friendly ruin that opportunity? And the race is off with a good launch from all four of them, but Dims and Knights are currently holding on to the lead. Friendly and Valentines are right back. There is no change in their camera positions, in their grid positions, as they make their way past once again into the Indian Village. Oh wait, they're already past the Indian Village. Now they're going back into the Horizon Festival. Knights has already lost their position to Valentines. Dim now though is currently holding to the lead. A little bit of a careful jump as they make their way past the Horizon Festival into the shore side. And it's now between Dim and Knights. Dim currently in first, Knights in second, Valentines casually taking third place, and CM Friendly in fourth. We know the results already. Assemble is able to do a landslide finish, granting both Dim and Valentine's entry into the next round. Let us now go into Group 2B, and hopefully the race has not begun yet, and it hasn't. The race will be between TBC Palmis, Void, M1 LXD, and MZRK of Team STN. Let's double check the team representations here. TBC Palmis will be representing Turbo Crew, which is also known for TBC. Meanwhile, Void will be representing for... Give me a moment. Void will be representing for Team Thank You. M1 LXD will be representing Mid Miles, and MZRK will be representing Santano Club Thailand. Now we're just waiting for the referee to confirm officializing if all players are ready to start the next round. Mid Miles and Satanto Club Thailand's representatives have now confirmed. They're just waiting on confirmation from TBC Palmis and Void of Team Thank You. Just like to remind once again that the Hyundai N-Pass and Battle Pass, sorry I fumbled for 3 times there. The Hyundai N Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the Champion Car themed outfit, the Hyundai N collaboration decals, and the classic Hyundai Pony. The 1975 Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage. In-game, it offers both an engaging experience and collectible value. And you can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the Hyundai Cup, voting for who would be the one leading in their group. Use them in the exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, and other rewards. I encourage you all to enter the game, make progress in the battle pass, take your guesses, and use their event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards while the MF Ghost banners are still active. Looks like TBC Palmas is not yet available to start, probably doing some last minute tune-ups. So if this is gonna take a while, let us take a momentary break prior to the start of Group 2B. And we are back. Now, Group 2B has officially started their race, and we're seeing the car lineup now. They seem to be selecting Pool A, and I do believe they may have picked Pool B on a previous day. So TBC Palmas will be in the Ferrari 250 GTO as well as Void. Meanwhile, M1 LXD and MZRK are gonna be in the Takumi Mobile, the Initial D Edition AE86 Sprinter Trueno, equipped with the AE101 racing engine. The camera focus will be on STN MZRK. By the way, just like to let you know that the Takumi Truenos are based on the Initial D Legend series. And this is a map we have not seen in a very long while. This is Alpen Meadow, which is an extension of Alpen Mountain. However, we go through the farmlands, starting off with a high-speed chicane section, going into the farms, respectively, where all the cows go moo. MZRK holding it strong here in the dirt section, with Void just right behind, M1 LXD on 3rd place, and Palmas cruising down onto 4th place in the Ferrari 250 GTO. M1 LXD and MZRK are now tied with the Takumi Mobile as they make their way into the uphill section to the last 2 corners before they head back into the proper Alps Mountains here in Alpen. MZRK really utilizing that Takumi and the AE101 racing engine as they go through onto the hairpin section, one of the maps that the Takumi Trueno is known to capitalize at over its twin in performance, the Keiska RX-7 FD. MZRK barely clinging on to the lead against M1 LXD, as they make their way into the summit. M1 LXD seems to be having some trouble with his Takumi Trueno. Now it's dropping down further back with 0.5 seconds of a gap between him and MZRK. Meanwhile, Void is just really close by with 0.12 seconds of a gap between M1 LXD and them. M1 LXD now losing some momentum as Void overtakes, but M1 LXD is able to recover. But M1 LXD loses it, and alongside MZRK, Void steals the lead as they make their way through the downhill section. The downhill specialist of Project D is now coming down to lap 2 as they cross their way back into the high-speed chicanes of the farmlands. Ooh, with some contact from M1 LXD, and that may be it on their opportunity. M1 LXD drops to 4th place. TBC Palmis now overtakes and heading to 3rd. But the gap is too substantial with 2.26 seconds. It is now down to STN, MZRK, and Void, who are current leaders in this race. MZRK really using the passive of the AE101 racing engine to its full potential. A double brake tap grants it even more high drift angle as they make their way through that section. MZRK now has a little bit of some struggle against Void's Ferrari 250 GTO. The performance index difference between the Ferrari 250 GTO and the AE86 is just at around 3 points in favor of the Ferrari 250, but MZRK really needs to pump that Eurobeat if they want to move on with a huge lead for first place. MZRK now being consistent enough to still be within Void's range. He has a couple of opportunities left before that limited edition Ferrari takes it for themselves. Void now going through the summit section where there is a trap onto the outside lane. If you veer off too wide, you're going to be hit with a bit of a road closure. MZRK now slowly going down to the downhill, has some hesitation a bit. The gap widening between him and Void. Looks like it's going to be Void's run for the first race, with STN MZRK in second. M1 LXD recovering from that impact earlier, going back to third with a 0.5 second gap between him and the other Trueno as they make their way to a first, second, third, and fourth place finish with TBC Palmis in fourth place. Here are current point standings. Void is in the lead, followed by STN MZRK, M1 LXD for third, and TBC Palmis for fourth. Double checking on the live chat here. She Sweet Tank has asked, are they done with Afig? Apparently, yes, they are. And not to our surprise, Afig advances once again. But his win streak did get taken out. Tactician XD9 comments, I really hope a Hyundai car shows up again. JN Son, I think a lot of players forgot to read the patch notes and forgot the 250 GT got a buff for sure. Yes, although the AE86 Trueno Initial D Edition is much better at technical maps, let us not forget that the Ferrari 250 GTO, although a V12, is far lighter than the AE86 would ever be and has a smaller wheelbase. Indianapolis Inner Loop Reverse 2 will be our map for the sports class race. Our combatants have yet to make their selection. This is going to be 2 laps. It's going to be going halfway through the loop and then into the technical section of Indianapolis. STN MZRK locks in with the Koenigsegg CCX, M1 LXD in the CCX, TBC Palmis also in the CCX, and Void confirming this is once again another one-make race. Alright, now our camera focus will be on M1 LXD. Just like to note that Void and MZRK are currently leading in this race. Void representing Team Thank You. And they're off. It seems to be that everyone is having an equal gap between each other, but ST and MZRK in the slipstream slowly about to take the lead from M1 LXD. But Palmis right behind, Void dropping down into 4th place. M1 LXD losing all their momentum and advantage. Void now retaking the lead, but M1 LXD recovers the lead. MZRK fighting it off. It is a 1-on-1-on-1 as they make their way into the technical section of Indianapolis. Void currently in the lead, followed by M1 LXD, overtaken by MZRK. TBC Palmas with a huge gap of 1.5 seconds at the back. Will he be able to recover? M1 LXD hits some wall contact as well as MZRK. The gap slowly widening between them, and thank you Void as Void takes the lead. M1 LXD and MZRK still having a dogfight of their own in the mid-pack. Suddenly gets a wall tap once again, but also MZRK as well. Void losing a bit of the momentums going into lap 2. Let us not forget that this is a 2-lap race at Indianapolis. If M1 LXD sticks to Void slipstream, then M1 LXD has the opportunity to overtake once again. We see the redlining happening on Gear 4, one of the few weak points of the Koenigsegg CCX. But now M1 LXD takes the lead. MZRK takes second place. Void drops down to third, losing to Slipstream. M1 LXD should have a better performance into the technical section if they want to secure first place here. The gap is very minimal between the top three. M1 LXD really looking good with a few track shortcuts. Void now in second place. ST and MZRK dropping down to third with the gap slowly decreasing. But Void right behind M1 LXD. M1 LXD retakes the lead by a minimal margin. Void retakes it once again. M1 LXD has to capitalize in the last few corners, and it has to happen now if they don't want to be overtaken by Slipstream, as the Slipstream advantage is very small from the last corner all the way to the start finish. M1 LXD with just one final corner, he should not mess up, makes it clean. M1 LXD currently in the lead. The gap, not much of a difference, but Slipstream is going to not be in his disadvantage. M1 LXD takes first, Void takes second, MZRK takes third, and TBC Palmas in fourth place. Here are our current standings. Void still in the lead by 16 points, followed by M1 LXD with 14. ST and MZRK drops to third with 12 points. TBC Palmas, fourth place, consistent, still with 8 points. Still in the running. Let us now go and meet our combatants as they get ready for round 3, the extreme class. Are we going to be seeing another Koenigsegg Jesko 1-make race, or if we're going to be getting another high-speed race? Will we give an opportunity to the Bugatti Divo? Just like to remind once again to all our 36 viewers that if this is your first time in the channel, please do subscribe to the channel so that you'll be able to be notified when the next race will begin this coming weekend. For Extreme Class, TBC Palmas and Void locks into the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. M1 LXD and MZRK have yet to make their decision. MZRK locks in with the Koenigsegg Jesko, and M1 LXD also with the Koenigsegg Jesko. Our race map is going to be Barcelona Mini, which is a 2-lap variant, no different from our regular rank races. This is going to go through the roundabout on the how can I say this? It's going to go through the Spanish Monument as the roundabout, and then goes back via the Barcelona city streets. Camera focuses at TBC Palmas. TBC Palmas with a bit of a moderate start as MZRK, Void, and M1 LXD instantly overtakes him in the first corner. Palmas capitalizes with Slipstream, overtakes MZRK, currently in third place, drops down back to fourth, probably playing it safe this time around. Unfortunately, too safe. Palmas fades away at the back. Let's go up the ranks into the camera focus of M1 LXD, who is once again now in a duel with Void and MZRK. MZRK showing he is still in the runnings. MZRK overtaking M1 LXD, but M1 LXD overtakes, locks in on the inside, gets closer to Void. Void still barely holding on to their first place lead. M1 LXD now going to the second corner. Both of them hit contact. M1 LXD makes contact and spins out. That may be it for M1 LXD. Void is now in second place. MZRK taking the lead with a bit of a substantial amount. If MZRK does not mess up, looks like he's not going to mess up, the win goes to STN MZRK, followed by Void. TBC Palmas finally breaks fourth place hell. Meanwhile, M1 LXD surrenders to the spin out and drops down to 4th place. Void now with 23 points. STN MZRK jumps to 2nd place with 21 points. M1 LXD, losing their opportunity, is now dropping to 18 points. TBC Palmes, though out of 4th place hell, has now dropped still in 4th place with 13 points. Final round is upon us for Group 2B. Now, we know that Void is still currently in the lead, but barely hanging on right behind him now is STN MZRK. M1 LXD needs to have a miracle of a run to ensure Void and STN MZRK drops to 4th and 3rd respectively if they want to advance. Though as early as now, TBC Palmes, you've done a wonderful job. Now, would you let them take the win, or would you help M1 LXD and become the unbreakable wall that would stop the win streak of Void and the potential qualifying rank of MZRK? Void in the F-150 Raptor R and MZRK with the F-150. TBC Palmes daring enough with the Porsche 911 Rally. M1 LXD also in the F-150 Raptor. Our map once again is going to be a Persian Gulf Seaside Tour. We already done this. It's going to be starting on the ruins on to the opposite side of the Indian village as they make their way into Horizon Festival, finishing off in the shoreline. 3, 2, 1, and the race is off. TBC Palmes with the acceleration advantage of the 911 Rally takes a bit of a safer route as they make their way through, but STN MZRK seizes the opportunity, sticks to a much straighter line, and is now in the hill climb section where the F-150 shines the most. But we're now facing onto the downhill. Palmes with a sudden speed boost down the downhill. Now catching up to STN MZRK, going through the Horizon Festival. Light brake taps by Palmes. Palmes will be able to capitalize and be the wall that he was meant to be against everyone. Void, M1 LXD, and STN MZRK now drop to 2nd, 3rd. But right out of the blue, M1 LXD retakes the win, followed by Void, TBC Palmes, and then STN MZRK. Safe to say by results, the ones advancing would be M1 LXD and Void. Thanks so much to MZRK and Palmes for participating. Their journeys end here. Now let us move out from Group 2 and jump straight to Group 3. We are halfway through today's session. Looks like Group 3 seems to have an AFK representative. PSGKK, Joe, and Vidi would be the ones participating. They may be waiting for their 4th participant. And let's just double check on the rankings here. 3 ace participants are supposed to be Joe, KK, Vidi, and Steiner. And looks like Steiner is yet to show. So we're just gonna be waiting by taking a bit of a break. Okay, we are officially back, and lo and behold, our combatants are now complete. But at the same time, they're greeting live chat. Vidi, Steiner, Joe, and looks like KK is a little bit camera shy, but Vidi, Steiner, and Joe are saying hi back to live chat. So this is going to be an opportunity for everybody, as we're going to be seeing Group 3A finally start. Alright, they're just waiting for the official referee to finally lock in the race, as all participants are now ready to battle it out here in Group 3A of the BEST64 race in Racing Masters Hyundai N-Cup Championship. Just like to let you guys know, while we're waiting for the loading to officially begin, that the Hyundai N Battle Pass is now live. Complete missions to unlock the champion car themed outfit, the Hyundai N collaboration decal, and the classic 1975 Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey onto the global stage. It offers both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. You can also enter and earn event prediction coins by participating in the event. Use them in exchange shop to redeem limited draw tickets, vehicle kits, diamonds, and other rewards. I encourage all of you to enter the game, make progress in the battle pass, guess who would be the ones to advance to the next round, and use the event prediction coins to redeem even more rewards in this season's MF Ghost collaboration, where you can use said draw tickets to claim your own MF Ghost Round 3 Kanata Rivington's 86, Senna Moriboshi's GR Supra, or Shun Aiba's GTR Nismo. Okay, just to double check as well that our combatants for Group 3A are just gonna be representing themselves on Discord before we officially go live. While waiting on that one, let us actually see who advanced on Group 1A, the group that we failed to see earlier due to the delayed broadcast. And looks like by race results, the ones who would be advancing would be High and Drowsy Cat BT. Rebirths and TYC seems to have their session ended. The races happen at Namhai Seaside Clouds, Shanghai Reverse, and we'll double check on the other races later as the race officially begins at Nürburgring Spiegel Curve. PSGKK locks in with the Volkswagen Beetle. Not sure about that selection after its menial performance earlier. Vidi with the BMW Z4 S-Drive, which is known to be a permanent car, but still holds the crown for the car with the highest top speed in standard class. Thanks Steiner is yet to make a selection, as well as Joe, but Joe and alongside KK have switched over to the Nissan Silvia S15. Thanks Steiner locks in with the Volkswagen Beetle. Now it's going to be either the BMW Z4 or the Nissan S15 would be making the guarantee of who would be the one to win on the final straight here in Spiegel Curve. The race officially begins, and there goes the launch. The Beetle with the better launch compared to the other three. The Z4 follows suit, followed by a pair of Nissan Silvia S15s. Do note that this is the cloudy variant, so there will be less wall barriers, but there will be speed penalties when going off track. KK now and Joe are struggling a bit on the back end, but it is still too early to decide how they're going to be going on about it. Tex Steiner and the Beetle is making waves in the technical section, but we know that this is the only part the Beetle is going to be good at. But the BMW Z4 is what we need to look out for. It may be a permanent car, but it is the most balanced and has the highest top speed. We have to be watchful on the top speed that a Z4 can do. KK now taking a bit of an unorthodox line, overtaken by Joe. Joe is now slowly building momentum as they get closer to the top two. A little bit of some speed loss in the uphill, but Joe locking into the slipstreams. We're seeing the speeds go up already at 230, a sports class department. The Beetle is slowly fading out, but the Z4 seems to be performing tremendously well. Here we go, the final straight. Can Joe make a comeback The Slipstream would be the best friend of the Nissan S15. The Beetle slowly fading out, but the Z4 hanging strong despite being in the lead, has the highest top speed gain. He doesn't need Slipstream. The Z4 is the Slipstream, taking first place, followed by Joe in the Nissan S15. And in third place, Steiner with the Beetle, PSGKK dropping to fourth. Vidi getting first place with 9 points, Joe with 7 points, Steiner with 5 points, and KK with 4 points. While we're waiting for the next race to begin, Ramesh Kumar 8049 asks, is the new Lotus Evija meta? Here in the Milky R34 channel, I'm not just saying this because it's my channel, but of course the community knows this. We do not care about the meta. Pick what you like. If the performance pleases you, go on and roll for it. But I would at least say it is quite a good legendary. Correction, quite a good prime legendary. So if you are undecided on what to go for, whether the MF Ghost vehicles or the Lotus Evija, if you're lacking on your extreme class cars, go for the Evija. But now, we are going to be starting in Mexico's half suburb section, where it's going to be a sports class Duke with Joe in the Ferrari Roma. We're waiting on the other selections of the other three. By the way, this is guaranteed to be Group C. PSGKK as well on the Ferrari Roma, Vidi in the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, and thanks Steiner also in the Ferrari Roma. Though all of them are beyond 900 performance points, the Ferrari Roma is known to be a buffed version of its JP counterpart prior to the patch update, with a total performance index of 915. The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio is available through the Legendary Car Pack and can be accessed with a 904 performance index. Camera focus right now is with Vidi. Vidi is in the more balanced machine, favoring acceleration, while the Roma is numerically superior and has better handling. John Red on live chat goes, go, 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 Alfa Romeo. Looks like Vidi has a fan on live chat. Although falling off behind with slipstream reliability, the Alfa Romeo slowly fading in, but is able to capitalize. Vidi seems to know how the Alfa Romeo Giulia works, and is doing a much smoother line compared to Joe and Steiner, who are both in the Ferrari Roma. PSGKK taking a bit of a cool line himself, not a wild one, but Vidi going all out with the slides as they go through the suburb section of Guanajuato here in Mexico. One last corner before they make their way outside of the village gates, and Vidi taking the inside, PSGKK taking the outside. It is a neck-to-neck race between Vidi and KK. Vidi now taking a slipstream, but loses momentum onto the jump. KK takes the lead, followed by Joe. Steiner also may have crashed into the wall on that jump and takes the finish onto the goal. KK and Joe take first place, followed by Vidi in the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, and thanks Steiner in fourth place. Points are in. Joe and Vidi are now tied for first place, followed by KK in 13 points, and Steiner in last place with 9 points. It's not helping that I'm wearing a, a floral shirt and our map was in Mexico. Alright, third race is going to be an extreme class race. We are waiting for our combatants to confirm their readiness into the next heat. It's going to be a tiebreaker round for round 3, assuming there won't be any changes in their positionings. But Vidi barely holding on to the lead by 1 point. Joe and KK locked into second place. Steiner still dropping in fourth place. And once again, we're getting another unique map, which is Alpen Meadow. We've seen it on a previous run. Joe locking in with the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR Strassenversen Supersport. We're waiting for thanks Steiner, Vidi, and KK to make their selections. Vidi also selecting the CLK GTR. KK and Steiner locking in with the CLK GTR as well. Now will KK break the combo? Apparently not. It's once again the Limited Master Series featuring the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR Strassenversen Supersport. camera focus right now will be with PSG-KK. If we're familiar with the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR, prior to the Zenvo ST1, the Zenvo TSRS, the Lamborghini Veneno, the Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR was the undisputed grip king for a time in Racing Masters grip meta. PSG-KK with a little bit of some wall collision, dropping down to 4th place. Vidi takes the lead, but gets overtaken by Thanks Steiner. Joe sitting pretty in 3rd place, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Joe taking a much better line. Looks like everybody knows that the CLK shines in grip driving, and everybody is playing the same game. It's a matter of who brakes early, who brakes late, who takes the inner lane, who takes the outer lane, who keeps the car grip, and who understeers. Joe with a little bit of some wall contact there, drops down to 4th place, but with a bit of some late trail braking, was able to get close to PSG-KK. PSG-KK drops down to 4th place. Thanks Steiner now currently in the lead, followed by Vidi. PSG-KK getting too close to the inside, losing a bit of some momentum. Joe takes advantage of that, but the short straight says otherwise. Joe now still stuck in 4th place, followed by PSG-KK. Now let's go over to the upper bracket. Vidi, who is now taunting Thanks Steiner into a duel of the grip meisters. Vidi in the inside lane, Thanks Steiner with an easy out and out attack. Thanks Steiner seems to have gotten his synergy with the CLK GTR down to a T. Meanwhile, Vidi is able to keep pace with Thanks Steiner, sticking with the slipstream. Do note that the CLK GTRs excels in 2 things: gripping and slipstreaming. Now, slipstreaming may be a disadvantageous key to use when you get to the first section of Alpen Meadow, as you need to get a smooth, straight line across the barnyard meadows here in the high-speed chicanes. Vidi flawlessly takes it out alongside Thanks Steiner. Meanwhile, PSG-KK and Joe struggling and seems to have collided with a bit of the walls. PSG-KK gets close enough. Joe, on the other hand, stuck on 4th place. Vidi slowly closing in on Thanks Steiner. Thanks Steiner still holding strong to that lead. This may be Thanks Steiner's advantage and recapitalizing the scoreboard. Vidi in 2nd place as they make their way to the last corner of the barnyards, as they make their way back to the mountain section of Alpen. Thanks Steiner with a beautiful out and out attack exit alongside Vidi. Vidi not having an opportunity to capitalize here apparently. The gap staying consistent, a full 1 second gap between Vidi and Thanks Steiner. Vidi with a little bit of some hesitation on the uphill. Now PSG-KK takes advantage of that and overtakes in the last moment. Vidi now able to close in and regain 2nd place. Needs to break off the tie from PSG-KK. A little bit of some hesitation, but PSG-KK goes flat out and finally takes 2nd place. Vidi needs one last opportunity prior to the tunnel to regain 2nd place back, or PSG-KK will ruin his chances. Going close on the inside, a daring inner tackle by Vidi, but it's not enough. PSG-KK with a little bit of some early braking, late braking from Vidi, but it is still not enough. PSG-KK takes 2nd, Thanks Steiner takes 1st, Vidi takes 3rd place, and there is Joe finishing their lap. And here are point standings. PSG-KK now taking the lead by a point at 20 points. Vidi at 19. Joe at 18. Thanks Steiner at 18. This is literally anybody's game. The last one would make or break who would be the ones advancing to the next heat. And I can still hear the Strassen versions running in the background. Now we are on the final race of Group 3A. Between Vidi, Joe, PSG-KK, and Thanks Steiner. PSG-KK currently in the lead, followed by Vidi, who is tied with Joe, who is in 2nd place, who is tied with Joe and Steiner, who are both tied in points for 3rd place. Let me just double check on live chat here. Yuigao Hoshi, one of our top 64 finalists for Group 8, mentions having your own flow matters so much more for grip, and I will have to agree. Although I main the CLK GTR, these guys in the BEST64 are on a league of their own. We're just waiting for the referee's confirmation for the off-road race to officially begin here in Racing Masters Hyundai N-Cup. We're still having a bit of some delays from our referee here. 1-1-1-1. I wonder if I should be the one to start this. I'm kidding. I'm not in position. I'm just here to commentate the play-by-play. We're just waiting on our referee if they're now officially going to begin. OBO04, we're waiting on you if you'll be able to start off. But while waiting, let's actually go back to what we've missed out on, which is Group 1A, the other races that they have finished. Shanghai Reverse was their sports race. Mexico Celebration was the third place. And what we can see here, this was a rough race for Hai, as in stage 2, he drops down to third. Drowsy Cat BT was consistent, but also exchanged positions with him. Yes, it seems to be an exchange positions, but their tiebreaker seems to have happened on off-road, where Hai barely makes it out into the final race, with Drowsy Cat BT trailing in second and Rebirths chasing onto third. I will let live chat decide which stage on Group 1A we will review as soon as we're finished with Group 4. Looks like a referee just backed out last minute, and I'll do them a solid here. No, only a host. I tried. It happened. It happened at the best 128. I don't know why. Now we're just waiting on the official referee. Let us actually engage. This is something we have not done yet on these live streams. Let us engage with our finalists. Let's actually give them a message. Tight race, everyone. Close in points. Any message to our live viewers tonight? To our 50 plus viewers tonight. Let us actually see if they'll be able to. PSGKK makes a shout out to Agamotto. What a surprise. I'm pretty sure most of you are wondering where is Agamotto. Though Agamotto was one of he was a bit of a high focus player, but I probably would save the comments on Group 8 as he was a Group 8 combatant. Vidi makes a comment that to the one that advanced on the earlier heat, Valentine's number 1. So that is a support between Exemble members, as Vidi is also part of Team Exemble. We're still waiting on the referee if they are if they're gonna be back. Wait, who is the host? Who is the host tonight? I wonder. Is it Thanks Ayumu or is it RFF Opipa Trick? We're waiting on that. So, or in this case, live chat. If you have any message to our finalists for Group 3A, right now is the time for you to give a message to Vidi, Joe, PSGKK, and Thanks Steiner. While waiting for your messages, let us actually double check on the standings of 3B. 3B we will have later Elucia, Bullgod RM, Mass Bohem, and S to participate in the next heat. Okay, Vidi getting confirmation. Referee said 2 minutes, so we'll have a bit of another 2-minute break. If you have any message to our finalists for Group 3A, now's the time as we take a bit of a break, and I will read it out to them if their race has not begun yet. And we are officially back as the referee has finally joined us back in the room to finalize the final race of Group 3A here in tonight's Racing Master X Hyundai Cup. It's going to be happening at Wilderness Speedster, a very notorious and skill-heavy map. Vidi locks in with the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. We're waiting on the other vehicles here. Joe also in the Wrangler. Steiner also in the Wrangler. And KK in the Wrangler. Brandon is buried, is asking who is winning. Currently in the runnings, Vidi is leading by a point, followed by a tie between Steiner and... between KK and Joe. Steiner in last place. With not much of a point difference, to be honest. So it's a 2019-18 points. So PSG-KK is our camera focus for tonight. And they are off in the Wrangler Rubicon, the much superior pick as opposed to the other vehicle this was paired with, which was the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. PSG-KK with a bit of a slow uphill, but everyone seems to be having the better advantage and disadvantage as PSG-KK overtakes Joe with a tighter line into the next checkpoint. Thanks Steiner, Vidi now taking the lead. Thanks Steiner in second place, PSG-KK in third. Slow break into it. Suddenly PSG-KK misses their checkpoint and unfortunately has to lock out and has to reset, bringing the camera focus now up to Vidi, who is now chased behind by Thanks Steiner. As they go through the next checkpoint here, the one currently in the lead is Thanks Steiner, followed by Vidi. And now with a bit of a light drift angle from everyone there, Vidi is now able to capitalize and may be able to secure their first place finish. Thanks Steiner is still in the innings in second place. That wall is collidable. Now we're going to be finishing onto the goal. First place goes to Vidi, followed by Thanks Steiner, then Joe, and in last place, PSG-KK, who officially retired from their matchup. Here are the final standings. Vidi with 28 points. Steiner qualifies, beating Exemble. Joe gets eliminated with 23 points. PSG-KK fails to complete, so gains nothing and is locked at 20 points. That is it for the races for Group 3A. Now we will move on to Group 3B. Group 3B will have Bolgod RM, Mass Bohem, SF's Elucia, and TBC's S. We have made it just in time and not missed out on any of the races for tonight. And that was a big, really big comeback from Thanks Steiner. While waiting on the official standings, let's actually look at the point results here. The performance, Thanks Steiner, always in the lower half of the bracket on the first two stages, but manages to make a comeback on Extreme Class, followed by a wonderful win, or more like a wonderful second place finish in Off-Road, granting them the right to qualify to the next heat. But we are now in Group 3B, here in Sicily Circuit for the Standard Class, where Bolgod RM selects the Nissan Silvia S15 Spec R. SF Elucia, TBCS, and Thanks Mass Bohem have yet to make their selections. Elucia also picking the Nissan S15 Spec Car. Spec Car as well for TBCS. Mass Bohem is our final participant to make a vehicle pick. Mass Bohem will also be going for the Nissan Silvia S15. We know the notoriety of the Nissan S15. It held the crown as the Standard Class's top vehicle for a while, at least prior to the release of the GR86, the R35 Skyline, and of course, the prime legendary debut of the Mazda RX-7 FD. Camera focuses with SF Elucia 3, 2, 1, and half of them will be in the Spec R body kit, not the Spec R Aero or the Spec R Nismo variant or the Nissan Premium model. Meanwhile, the other two will be in the Drift Spec wide body kit of the Nissan S15. SF Elucia now currently in the lead overtaking Bulgard RM, and thanks Masboem, the wide-bodied S15s struggling it hard. Meanwhile, SF Ilusha is still able to hold on to first place, tied up with Bulgard RM. Bulgard RM marginally a little faster, but SF Ilusha has the better corner exit speed and the slipstream to boot. It is now turning into the lighthouse. SF Ilusha going a little bit on the outside, but takes it in a much higher speed, overtaking thanks Masboem. Bulgard RM holding on to that lead, barely clinging it on, nearly clipping the wall. A little bit of some hesitation right there from Bulgard RM. SF Ilusha overtakes. TBCS capitalizes on that hesitation as they make their way into the rock formation. SF Ilusha now currently in first place with a 0.3 second gap behind him and Bulgard RM, who just recovered from their hesitation moment earlier, overtaking TBCS. The S15 Silvia is known to be very unstable in non-asphalt surfaces. It could be an opportunity for our drivers to easily throw the car into a much needed drift without the use of excessive braking. SF Ilusha capitalizing on that opportunity and is making their way into the unstable hill climb as they make their way back into the gates of the Peak of Sicily. SF Ilusha with a little bit of some hesitation themselves. Bulgard RM with a much tighter line, but SF Ilusha takes it from the outside, but still overtaken by Bulgard RM. SF Ilusha in the slipstream. Bulgard RM barely in the lead as they make their way to lap 2. SF Ilusha now taking the lead at the first section. Thanks Masboem and TBCS having a duel of their own. Bulgard RM makes wall contact, loses the opportunity through SF Ilusha. Thanks Masboem just right behind Bulgard RM, ready to overtake if given the opportunity. But SF Ilusha uses this opportunity to build a gap against Bulgard RM. Bulgard RM currently in second place, being chased after by Thanks Masboem. Some hesitation from SF Ilusha. Bulgard RM capitalizes on that hesitation and overtakes for first place. SF Ilusha now in second place once again as he and Bulgard RM make their way into the lighthouse. Thanks Masboem suddenly making a surprise from behind. TBCS far off at the back with a 1.3 second gap between them and SF Ilusha. SF Ilusha now just chasing after Bulgard RM's wide body, and as they make their way back into the rock formation, goes for an out and out attack, capitalizes with a much better corner exit. SF Ilusha clipping the apex, but probably a little too slow on their end, but some oversteer happening on Bulgard RM's side. SF Ilusha holding that drift through the sand as he retakes the lead into first place. 0.4 seconds of a gap, uses the sand pit once again to throw the car into a slide. The switchback back into the unstable hill climb. Bulgard RM just right behind. It is a very close race between SF Ilusha and Bulgard RM. Bulgard RM with a bit of some oversteer. SF Ilusha capitalizing on that mishap just by a little bit. SF Ilusha clips the apexes of those small chicanes and is now on the final straight with a 0.5 second gap against Bulgard RM. And safe to say, this is SF Ilusha's first win of the night, followed by Bulgard RM, TBCS in last place, and third place will go to Thanks Masboem. Yuigao Hoshi in live chat asks, does the body kit change the hitbox? I don't know about the developers if they do so, but seeing as how tremendously wide some of these body kits are, it would be a safe assumption to say yes. So if you're really particular with the hitbox of your vehicle, if you're gonna go for tighter lines, I highly discourage not using the wide body kit at all. Although the wide body kit does not change the hitbox of the vehicle, but just to prevent a bit of some placebo effects, I kinda require to keep it stock at all possible in a high stakes event such as the Hyundai Cup in RM. Now we're heading into the sports car race of Group 3B. At Chicago Circuit on the rainy night variant, Bulgard RM, SF Ilusha, TBCS are all gonna be in the Ferrari Roma. Masboem joins in on the fray. It will be another Master Series race using the Ferrari Roma. Our camera focus will be once again with SF Illusia, our current leader in Group 3B. And the countdown is off. SF Illusia with a super perfect start, but Bullgod RM does an even better super perfect start and takes the lead. SF Illusia in second place, thanks Masboem in third, TBCS in fourth place respectively. Here as they make their way through the complex section of Chicago, Illinois. SF Illusia with a bit of some wall tap, dropping down to fourth place unpredictably as the race has just started with just 9 points into this 2-lap race. It is too early to make a decision as SF Illusia overtakes TBCS, loses out on the advantage, but regains it once again. An unorthodox race line from SF Illusia, granting him a steal to third place. Going to the slipstream, chasing after thanks Masboem. SF Illusia now goes to the uphill section, goes a bit wide. TBCS capitalizes on that advantage, and then they make their way into the underpass of Chicago, Illinois. TBCS nearly clipping the outer wall there, but fairly misses and is now still in third place. But SF Illusia with a much tighter race line, barely overtaking third place, chasing after thanks Masboem with Bullgod RM barely holding on to the first place lead. SF Illusia seems to be having some trouble getting out of fourth place as she keeps being pulled back by TBCS. SF Illusia now consistent in their third place position, trying to outdo and outsmart thanks Masboem on corner entry. But it seems it's backfiring at every opportunity as TBCS reads them like a book. SF Illusia and everybody else going into the last corner of the first lap. SF Illusia still locked down to fourth place. TBCS may have memorized SF Illusia's race line or is just that better with the Ferrari Roma. TBCS goes overly far wide and SF Illusia retakes the lead, but TBCS fighting it back. Bullgod RM drops down to second, but it's now fighting back once again against thanks Masboem. SF Illusia doing much better in the early half of the switchbacks, but TBCS fights back on the latter half. SF Illusia now, as they go into the underpass off the train tracks, SF Illusia is now in third place. Thanks Masboem goes back to second. Bullgod RM stealing back their lead. SF Illusia now right in third place where he needs to be, but needs to go much even higher to secure their position. SF Illusia overtaking thanks Masboem, attempts to, not able to, loses out the speed to TBCS. TBCS goes a bit wide, barely clinging on. SF Illusia now is in third place once again with a bit of some wall contact from Tex Masum. Tex Masum drops down to fourth place. TBCS, SF Illusia goes up one place as they chase after Bullgod RM. TBCS with a bit of some hesitation on corner exit. SF Illusia is now chasing after Bullgod RM for pole position. SF Illusia, after the downhill back into the downtown, is still fighting it out with TBCS. A better executed switchback with the Ferrari Roma, chasing after Bullgod RM. Just 2 corners remaining into the heat, the sports class heat. SF Illusia has one final chance on top of chasing the slipstream of Bullgod RM. But right behind them, TBCS chasing the slipstream of both of them as they go through the final hairpin of Chicago's rainy circuit. With one last push of the position, TBCS, unable to get second place, drops down to third barely as SF Illusia re-steals the lead. Bullgod RM held pole position as long as he could, tying together with SF Illusia at 16 points. TBCS and Masboem tied together at 9 points respectively. It's a tie on tie. Next race is gonna break that tie. It is a tight matchup. Bullgod RM and SF Illusia neck and neck in points and both in performance. However, Bullgod RM in the Ferrari Roma had the upper hand all throughout. Meanwhile, thanks Masboem was having a well-fought fight against SF Illusia, but unable to count out the final corner exit speed of SF Illusia. At least the one mistake of thanks Masboem cost him greatly, but to the opportunity and advantage of TBCS. Tokyo's bottom half would be our next run, a sprint race. We know this in normal rank play. Bullgod RM in the Valhalla, SF Elusia and TBCS in the CLK GTR Strassen version Super Sport, and thanks Mas Bohem in the newly buffed Koenigsegg Agera RS. The race is beginning to load, and just like to remind as well to all 51 viewers currently tonight that you are to subscribe to the Myogi R34 channel to be notified when the live stream will be up tomorrow evening for the second half of the BEST64. SF Elusia once again is our camera focus for tonight. 3, 2, 1. The CLKs are now off. Thanks Mas Bohem in the Koenigsegg Agera RS with the better launch and acceleration off the line. SF Elusia taking it easy with a real dedicated grip line. Thanks Mas Bohem fighting it back with the much slippier Koenigsegg with the 1100 horsepower under its belt. Bullgod RM currently in the Aston Martin Valhalla, falling far back compared to TBCS, also in the CLK, but is not too familiar with how the CLK works. A little bit of some hesitation from SF Elusia, dropping down to third place as Bullgod RM has the better corner consistency throughout Shibuya's S-curves. SF Elusia now drops down to third place. Thanks Mas Bohem, his redemption arc is here. His redemption arc is currently leading with the Koenigsegg Agera RS. SF Elusia once again in a dogfight with Bullgod RM. CLK versus Aston Martin Valhalla. One more corner left to go. SF Elusia now in second place, out accelerating Bullgod RM's Aston Martin Valhalla with a 0.5 second of a gap. SF Elusia needs to capitalize on that slipstream. Suddenly, he was able to hold on to the speed much better. SF Elusia takes the lead from Thanks Mas Bohem, gets first place, Agera on second, Valhalla on third, and TBCS also in the CLK GTR for fourth place. SF Elusia breaks the tie with a tremendous leap to 25 points. Thanks Mas Bohem fighting it strong, now up to third place with 16 points. Bullgod RM at 21 points and TBCS in 13 points. That sudden last second finish is what we are here for in the Hyundai N-Cup Championship of Racing Master. SF Elusia has delivered a battle, an overtake of the night. Now we are just waiting for the final race of Group 3B, which is going to be the off-road race between the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon or the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Double checking on live chat as we speak here. Kazuki Jack, what a comeback. Victor Casteller says, damn, now I want the CLK. And as a CLK owner myself, I would say, if you get the chance on a rerun, get that CLK. It has tremendously good grip, tremendously good traction, tremendously good slipstream capacity. Once again, we are now in Persian Gulf Seaside Tour, going from the ruins to the other side of the Indian village, down the Horizon Festival, ending with the shoreline. Everyone will be in the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. Thanks Mas Bohem, who made a comeback in points, though drops to second place on the last race, is our camera focus for tonight. And they are off. Mas Bohem is currently in the lead, followed by TBCS. Bullgod RM and SF Elusia, our current leaders, are now in the back of the pack. Thanks Mas Bohem, though, is now currently in third place with 16 points. 13 points is TBCS. Bullgod RM is at 21 with SF Elusia at 25 points respectively. Bullgod RM and Thanks Mas Bohem and TBCS. SF Elusia out of nowhere suddenly appears from the left side and is now taking the lead. Thanks Mas Bohem once again hoping for another second place finish with a much strong grip line, but SF Elusia carried so much speed from the back, too much grip from Thanks Mas Bohem's side, unfortunately cost him the race, and that is a close finish between second placers, but Thanks Mas Bohem secures second place. Our advancing group would be SF Elusia with 34 points and Bullgod RM with 25 points. Unfortunately, despite the very tight finish for second place, thanks Mas Bohem, we have to say thank you. Unfortunately, that is the end of your run. What an amazing run this has been for everyone. But let's now move on to our last two groups in Group 4. Group 4, we have SS Marin, PSG Irene, Rise 008, and I have to get out my translator again for this one. Just give me one brief moment, everybody. As our fourth combatant would be Ocarina Espa, according to our Korean translation. Oh, Karina. There we go. Karina. Now I remember. Yes, Karina, our Korean combatant in this group. And this will be Pool A, given SS Marin will be in the Mazda RX-7 RE Amamiya Keisuke Takahashi Initial D Edition. Karina as well going for the same FD. Our map is an unusual one. We have never seen this map in any of our rank races. It is Amsterdam's Flower Field. And PSG Irene, the odd one out, and the Ferrari 250 GTO. Although the first half is a speed section where the RX-7s will capitalize, the Ferrari 250 GTO is known for its lightweight body, small wheelbase, small body shape. Is much better for the second half's technical section here in Amsterdam Flower Field. Camera focuses at Rise 008, sporting the Flame Spark wide body kit, which is very synonymous to the RX-7 touring car, which is featured in Gran Turismo. Rise 08 holding it strong. Meanwhile, Karina and SS Marin are using the regular RE Amamiya body kits, with PSG Irene falling behind, as expected of the first section in the Ferrari 250 GTO. Rise 08 with a wonderful carry through the corners, followed by SS Marin. PSG Irene overtakes Karina. SS Marin makes contact, unfortunately hits the wall. Rise 08 is all alone in first place. As they make their way around the windmill, Don Quixote de la Masca is sure to be afraid of that one. Rise 08 cruising it out in first place. Such a huge gap at the very start of the first heat of Group 4A. Let us drop down. SS Marin is in second place, barely hanging on, followed by PSG Irene in the Ferrari 250 GTO. The Ferrari finally showing its mettle as they make their way through the technical section. And there goes PSG Irene overtaking in the Ferrari 250 GTO, chasing after our leader, Rise 08. PSG Irene now in second place out of the blue. Karina with a really bad start, dropping down to fourth place with 5 seconds. With a bit of some oversteer though, PSG Irene loses the position to SS Marin. SS Marin makes contact with the guardrail, losing all that momentum. But safe to say that Karina has finally overtaken SS Marin. PSG Irene now chasing after Rise 08. They have 3 seconds behind of a gap against Karina's RX-7. All they need to do is to make sure that Karina does not catch up, and they'll be able to advance with a high point difference into race 2. PSG Irene going through the hairpin curves much faster than the RE Amamiya FD. PSG Irene slowly closing the gap against Rise 08. Rise 08 may be in a comfortable position right now, but only time will tell if PSG Irene makes the comeback that would shock everybody. Speaking of shocking everybody, Karina right behind, tailgating the Ferrari. But do note, we are now in the technical section where the Ferrari 250 GTO shines in the next hairpin of this race. PSG Irene uses the U-turn, the small body, and the small hitbox of the Ferrari 250, building gap against Karina's RX-7. PSG Irene going through the dam, much closer into the inside area. PSG Irene now goes through the S-curves, going out, exiting the village as they make their way through the final straight. 0.4 seconds of a gap between PSG Irene and Karina. Can PSG Irene hold on to their lead, or will Karina be able to overtake? Karina cleans it, makes a cleaner finish. Unfortunately, this means PSG Irene gets overtaken. Karina gets second out of the blue. What a comeback from a very bad start. Rise 08 with a comfortable 9 points at 3 minutes 7, followed by Karina in 7 points with 3 minutes and 10. PSG Irene losing out on the final straight because of their Ferrari to 50 at 5 points, with SS Marin on the lap 2 crash dropping down to 12 to 4 points. While waiting for the next race to start, let's double check on live chat here. Tactician XD9 comments, is Amsterdam Flower Park even available in rank? I barely get to play in it. If you are in the early races, you get Flower Fury, but that is a sprint race. The one that we just saw earlier is an exclusive custom race only map that can also be played in story mode or in career mode. Unfortunately, it is not available yet in the rank races, but it would be good if it could be added into the race pool next season. The only maps that we can get that are Amsterdam is Amsterdam River and Amsterdam Circuit and Amsterdam Circuit Reverse. That's the Amsterdam maps that we can get on ranked races. Oh, also Amsterdam Mini. Next map is Chongqing Layered City. And definitely this is going to be all Koenigsegg's, with SS Marin and Karina in the CCX. PSG Irene and Rise 08 have yet to make their decision. While waiting on their selections, double checking on live chat here. Oh, later with live chat, as we have seen, PSG Irene and Rise 08 are both gonna be in the Lamborghini Murcielago LP674 Super Veloce, but Rise 08 makes a last-second change back to the Koenigsegg CCX 2006. Rise 08 would be our camera focus for tonight, and before the race begins, VIX1311, a shame we can't put body kits on the MFG cars yet. We have to wait for the season patch update to happen before we can exclusively do so. And they are off. Rise 08 in the lead. Suddenly, we saw CCX just disappear out of the blue as Karina is now in third. Oh, there they are. PSG Irene in suddenly losing to the body weight of the Lamborghini. Rise 08 now and Karina fighting out for first and second place once again in the Koenigsegg CCX. Going through the roundabout, the very notorious roundabout loop of Chongqing Layered City. Rise 08 with a little bit of some wall contact there. Karina now retaking the lead. SS Marin and PSG Irene struggling with the heavy body of that Lamborghini Murcielago. It also does not help that the Lamborghini Murcielagos do not have a prime passive compared to the Koenigsegg CCX's Swedish Ghost. The Koenigsegg CCX Swedish Ghost grants CCX users a higher large angle drift value limit and enables them to withstand the dreaded red drift penalty much longer, though at the cost of a badder start and a redlining unstable through drifts type of car. Rise 08 losing their gap against Karina as Karina crosses the line into lap 2. Rise 08 with a 1 second gap. Karina makes kissing with the section's wall contact onto the inner side. Rise 08 capitalizes. Karina drops to last place. SS Marin now in second. Rise got too excited, hits the inner wall. SS Marin slowly chasing from behind in the Liberty Walk body kit. Oh, no, not the Liberty Walk body kit. In the other Koenigsegg CCX. Rise 08 now should have no mistakes whatsoever in the remainder of this race. They should lock in and keep it clean as SS Marin is here to fight back for what happened earlier. PSG Irene with the bad car pick drops down to 4th place. Karina recovering all that lost momentum, now in 3rd. But fighting it out with PSG Irene and Karina fighting with each other on 3rd and 4th place. SS Marin, however, is now just right behind with a 1.5 second gap. Looks like Karina was fighting too hard against PSG Irene and drops permanently to 4th place. Rise 08 once again with a 2 second comfortable lead was able to get their momentum and now cruises into 1st place. PSG Irene takes 2nd place. SS Marin takes 3rd. Karina with a devastating 4th place with 5.46 seconds. And there we are with the end of the second round. Risei Owade with 2 consecutive first place finishes at 18 points. PSG Irene now recovering their position as meant to be, now in second place with 12 points. Karina dropping down from a really good second place finish down to a devastating fourth place finish with 11 points. SS Marin with 7 points in the runnings. Alright, Ivan Matrix 9658 mentions, where do you see the buff update for the Agera? Now, let me just go into our official announcements page in-game, and it says the following. Although it was undocumented, the Agera was indeed patched. It has better traction now compared to before, as the only ones that we have 13 in total with improved optimized calibration is the GT, DB11, 370Z, Aventador, MX-5, 3 Series, RS7, SF90, NSX, GTR 250, Veloster, and F-Type. But they were all numerical updates as opposed to the update of the Koenigsegg Agera, which actually happened in the JP server, but looks like it also took effect in the SEA server, just undocumented. Everyone now is in the Koenigsegg, speaking of Koenigsegg's, the Koenigsegg Jesko attack here in Nürburgring's Carousel. PSG Irene is our camera focus, currently in the lead, followed by Risei Owade, Karina in third, SS Marin in fourth place. PSG Irene, Risei and Karina overtaking, making use of the slipstream given by PSG Irene. A little bit of hesitation from SS Marin. SS Marin makes wall contact. PSG Irene overtakes Karina. Risei once again in the lead. PSG Irene with a sudden wall tap. All of them with 2 wall taps. Karina now in the lead. This is definitely Nürburgring's sections are an absolute skill check. Irene is now going through the dirt section of the carousel. Unfortunately, they may have stayed in the dirt section for too long, as it gave an opportunity for Karina to make the biggest comeback that they needed in this run. Risei Owade dropping down to third, SS Marin in fourth, barely hanging on, fighting it out with Risei Owade. PSG Irene fighting fast with Karina, but suddenly out of the blue, Risei Owade recovers as well as SS Marin. PSG Irene is in trouble. Karina needs to make this count. PSG Irene overtakes Risei, goes through the dirt section, a little bit too close on the inside. PSG Irene drops down to fourth, SS Marin in third, Risei in second, Karina cruising on the line in first place. Looks like Karina's home turf is definitely the Nürburgring. From Korea to Germany, from Russia with love, it's gonna be Karina's win, followed by Risei Owade in second place, SS Marin in third, PSG Irene in fourth. And now let's double check on the point standings. Risei Owade actually overtook Karina in the last moment. We have not seen that. And is now in 27 points. Karina fighting it off with 18 points in second place. SS Marin drops down to 14 points. A little bit of a bump, but PSG Irene losing all the opportunities and is now at third place with 16 points. The last race is the last race that counts. PSG Irene needs to make one comeback, or Karina from South Korea with love. Karina from South Korea, that kind of rhymes, would be the one to advance alongside Risei Owade. SS Marin, you have the choice. Flunk the last race or become the wall to break Risei's win streak. Here, and Persian Gulf's always sleeping. That was a sudden comeback that I have not seen in a while. Risei Owade taking a last-second steal from Karina, who had a guaranteed first-place finish, takes first place out of Karina. We have not seen that ever since SF Illusia in the previous run. PSG Irene, Karina, and Risei Owade in the Ford F-150 Raptor. Looks like SS Marin is gonna call it quits, goes off with a bang, becomes the odd one out, and picks the Porsche 911 Rally. Ivan Matrix 9658 says, is that Karina from Espa from Korea? Definitely. And speaking of Karina from Espa from South Korea, Karina is our camera focus in this last race. The only one that Karina needs to overtake and secure the lead against is PSG Irene. A sudden oversteer from SS Mirin. SS Mirin fighting it out, knowing that this is a hill climb. The 911 rally's disadvantage. Karina dropping to 4th place. Looks like they be having some trouble as well. Nearly misses the checkpoint. Goes off into the uphill section. Goes and tries to go through the ramp, but unfortunately fails. Surprisingly, SS Marin, in a map that is dominated by the F-150 Raptor, is doing absolutely well in the off-road section and is now on the big jump. The Raptors experiencing a lot of gravity as they make their way down. SS Marin seems to have dropped to 2nd place all of a sudden, going through the water, the weakness of the 911 rally. PSG Irene looks to me is going to fight it out into the qualifying as they take the win against SS Marin, Rise 08, and Karina. Karina is out of the standings. Rise advances with 32 points. Prestigious Irene takes 2nd place. SS Marin, although trying to make a big comeback, was not able to capitalize and is still down on 4th place at 21 points. Karina from Espa, from Korea, unfortunately, this is the end of their journey. What a race of a comeback. We have one last heat to go through tonight, and that is Group 4B between RFF Abizar, Nemesis, Colleague RVSH, and Prestigious Bro Wen. Let me just double check as well on the guest counter, because the race guest would let us know if the combatants for tonight is the last. Definitely the last for tonight. So the last race would be between RFF Abizar, Nemesis. From which team is Nemesis? From not currently in a club, it seems. Standalone. Colleague RVSH and Prestigious Bro Wen. Our race officially begins now at Shanghai International Circuit's half circuit orientation. Meteoric E1V is inquiring, how does the race works? Are you given max ECU cars or your own? And thanks as well to chat, especially JN_San replying with, every car in tournament is all ECU 5, even not your own. And Meteoric response, oh I see, so next year again tournament? Probably. We'll have to wait for some announcements from brand sponsors. Tonight's brand sponsor is Hyundai N. And the race now between RFF Abizar, Colleague RVSH in the BMW M3 E46, mostly known for its Need for Speed Most Wanted GTR counterpart, with Nemesis and PSG Bro Wen in the brand sponsored, we are waiting for this, the Hyundai Pony. Which, by the way, an opportunity for you to get the Hyundai Pony is available by buying the Hyundai N Battle Pass. PSG Bro Wen, we switch over to camera to PSG Bro Wen, although our original camera focus is with RFF Abizar. RFF Abizar is now in 3rd place, fighting it off against Nemesis and Colleague RVSH. Colleague RVSH overtakes with the BMW M3. RFF Abizar overtakes with the BMW M3. Nemesis and PSG Bro Wen drops down with the Hyundai Pony. RFF Abizar make a smoother cross through that S-curve section with a much smoother corner entry into the roundabout corner. RFF Abizar goes through the final corner, entering into lap 2 with a solid, smooth drift angle as they make their way into lap 2 of Shanghai's International Circuit. A sector time of 19.3 seconds here in lap 2. RFF Abizar holding barely into the lead. Colleague RVSH with a better racing line through the dirt section, going through the medium left-hander. RFF Abizar, Colleague RVSH just exchanging hands between both Germans. Nemesis and PSG Bro Wen fading fast at the back with the Hyundai Pony. Although the Hyundai Pony is indeed good with acceleration, but only happens on mid-speed. Whereas the more balanced BMW M3 carries more power throughout this entire section than than the Hyundai Pony. But some hesitation from colleague RVSH. R35 Abizar with a cleaner exit. R35 Abizar retakes the first place finish against colleague RVSH, both in the BMW M3, followed by Nemesis, who is in the Hyundai Pony, and PSG Browen with a 1 minute 39 finish with the Hyundai Pony, in that order. Ironic though that Shanghai International Airport has a really good soundtrack. However, that music really screams more of Naruto. But we're immediately jumping into race 2 of sports car class, which is a point-to-point sprint race at Tokyo's upper half, where it's going to be with RFF Abizar and PSG Browen in the Toyota GR Supra. The GR Supra RZ, mind you, unlike the MF Go's GR Supra SZ-R. Colleague RVSH joins in with the Supra banner. Just like to let you know, the reason why the Supra SZ-R of the MF Go's collab is stronger than the Supra RZ is, take note, the Supra RZ that we got in the gacha is bone stock. The Supra SZ-R that we got was already tuned by Project D. So you're tuning a tuned vehicle, whereas with the RZ, you're tuning a stock vehicle. That explains the performance difference of the two. And Nemesis, being the odd one out in a field of Toyota Supras in Japan, is in the Ferrari, California. The race officially begins. The Supras with the better acceleration off the line, but Nemesis in the California has the better top end speed in the higher RPMs, though the Supra has the much better cornering advantage out of the two. Nemesis now drops to 4th place. The three Supras exchanging hands with each other. Again, RFF Abizar and colleague RVSH duking it out together in the podium. Meanwhile, Nemesis is just chasing from behind. Speed and power is the Ferrari California's name as they make their way to the Tokyo Park. RFF Abizar now holding the lead with Nemesis right behind. Colleague RVSH right there in 3rd place with Browen in 4th. A little bit of some hesitation with Nemesis and colleague RVSH, but Browen breaks too early. Nemesis capitalizes alongside colleague RVSH. RVSH and Browen, it is a very tight race in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Meanwhile, RFF Abizar slowly but surely building a gap. Meanwhile, PSG Browen capitalizes. Nemesis, who is our camera focus for tonight, is now losing it out. But the only thing Nemesis needs to do is to stick within range of RFF Abizar. Gets for a clean finish at the exit. And there it is. He takes 2nd place. No doubt. Easy podium against RFF Abizar, who is setting the pace in 1st place. Nemesis with a 2nd place finish in the Ferrari California. Colleague RVSH drops down to 3rd place. PSG Browen still in 4th place. Current standings, RFF Abizar is at 18. Nemesis is at 12. Colleague RVSH also at 12. Tied for 2nd place. PSG Browen 4th place with 8. I just heard the engines of those Ferraris still roaring. But now we're going to be jumping into the Extreme Class race here in Mexico's urban circuit. Waiting on Abizar, RVSH, Browen, and Nemesis to make their final picks for the Extreme Class. It is only one car per class, and you have to make it count. RFF, Abizar, Browen, and Nemesis all going for the Ferrari, or for, my mistake, the Koenigsegg 1-1 with colleague RVSH in the Ferrari Monza SP1. Koenigsegg 1-1 is known for its 1,360 horsepower on its 1,360 kilogram body frame, granting it guaranteed 1:1 power to weight ratio, which is a perfect balance for a map such as Mexico's urban circuit. Meanwhile, the Ferrari Monza SP1 may have a bad launch but a stable drift, although it will take a bit of some effort to make it corner, but has better acceleration on the higher RPM range. Unlike the all-rounder, the Koenigsegg 1-1. With RFF Abizar as our camera focus, RFF Abizar finally steals the lead, with Nemesis right behind and Browen in 3rd, exchanging with 2nd place Nemesis. Colleague RVSH struggling a bit with the unstable body of the Ferrari SP1 Monza. RFF Abizar with a much clean, but I was about to say clean, but suddenly collides with the wall on exit with a sudden jump from PSG Browen. PSG Browen drops down to third. Out of nowhere, colleague RVSH in the Ferrari Monza SP1 steals the lead from all the Swedish packs out there. RVFs are nearly clipping the outer wall on corner exit. Now fighting it off with Nemesis. Colleague RVSH, though, is in a cornering disadvantage, has the higher RPM acceleration, and can be the slipstream themselves. Abizar and Nemesis juking it out on slipstream, slowly chasing after the Ferrari SP1 Monza. One last corner, the Koenigseggs with a higher drift angle, but colleague RVSH with a much stable corner exit as they make their way and cross into the finish. I keep forgetting that Mexico's urban circuit is just a one-lap race, which is kind of odd given that is a circuit race. It should have been 2 laps. But in our standings, RFF Abizar still in first with 25 points, colleague RVSH in 21 points, Nemesis dropping down to 17, and PSG Browen in 12. Colleague RVSH upsetting everyone, especially RFF Abizar, who had a 2-win streak going and is now ruined by colleague RVSH calling him out. And once again, for the nth time in a row, we have Persian Gulf's Seaside Tour as our final race of the night between RFF Abizar, PSG Browen, who's in the Toyota Land Cruiser VXR and the Safari body kit, colleague RVSH in the Lamborghini Urus Performante, and Nemesis also in the Lamborghini Urus Performante. RFF Abizar joins everyone in the Lamborghini Urus, making PSG Browen the odd one out in the race. PSG Browen is our camera focus for tonight as we're seeing the final race of RFF Abizar, colleague RVSH, PSG Browen, and Nemesis. RFF Abizar is guaranteed to advance, but who would be advancing with him? Will it be colleague RVSH with the surprise comeback with the Ferrari Monza, or Nemesis, who is also now in the Lamborghini Urus? With a blistering acceleration off the line, the Land Cruiser, driven by PSG Browen now takes the lead. But will that lead hold strong against the Lamborghini Urus, which is numerically superior in every other aspect? And here comes the Lamborghinis. Here comes the Prancing Bulls against the Land Cruiser, the LTF RB cover car, as Browen holds on to the lead, needs to hold on with a much lighter drift angle, a little bit of a tap there at the exit of the Horizon Festival. Nemesis takes the lead. PSG Browen is now in second place, holding strong. RFF Abizar drops down to last place, and there it is. That is our final race for tonight. Nemesis turns the tables, now is tied with colleague RVSH for second place. RFF Abizar calmly taking their defeat with 29 points, advancing to the next round. Browen, although the odd one out, was able to finally get a podium finish at 19 points. Thank you so much for that one. But we need to see between colleague RVSH and Nemesis who would advance. Now, before we see it, I'd like to ask live chat, is it Nemesis or is it RVSH? Without looking on your in-game screens, before I do so, who is going to advance? I'm gonna give live chat 1 minute to make their decision. Ivan Matrix makes a response. Their guess is RVHSH. Waiting on other people in the live chat to make their response before we officially look at the standing. Nemesis from Kazuki Jack. Okay, so we're not seeing those who are going to be advancing to the next heat, which is good. So, we're going to be going to Group 4. On one click on 4B, we will find out. So, looks like it's going to be Ivan Matrix versus Kazuki Jack for the live chat bet. And the results are the one advancing. Looks like everybody has suddenly joined Kazuki Jack, and Kazuki Jack, alongside Tactician XD9 and Majesty Yours, wins the bet. And looks like by 0.3 seconds of a time difference, Nemesis advances alongside RFF Abizar into the next heat, which is the top 32. So let's have a recap of everyone who has advanced so far. For Group 1A, High is advancing alongside Drowsy Cat BT. For Group 1B, no surprise, Afik Baymax alongside TBC Rico. What is surprising here though is that in Race 3, TBC Rico steals the lead from Afik Baymax, though tied in lap times in terms of a millisecond difference. TBC Rico outperforms Afik Baymax only in that one time, so a streak ended for the Legendary Cup champion. That's at least for Group 1, but they advanced together. For Group 2, the ones advancing would be Valentine's and Dim representing Team Exemble. Void and M1 LXD will be advancing in Group 2B. For Group 3, the ones advancing would be Vidi and Thanks Steiner. For Group 3B, we have SF Elusia and Bolgod RM. And on our last group, Rise 08 and the sudden comeback of prestigious Irene. For 4A and for 4B, the one advancing is RFF Abizar, and by split time, by 0.3 seconds, is Nemesis. That is everyone who has advanced so far, and here's one final reminder of the following to all remaining viewers on tonight's live. The Hyundai N Battle Pass, as I will show here on screen, or also known as the Hyundai Master Pass, is now live. Complete missions to unlock champion car themed outfits, the Hyundai N collaboration decals, and the classic Hyundai Pony. The Hyundai Pony was Hyundai's first independently developed model and played an important role in the brand's journey in the global stage. It offers both an engaging in-game experience and collectible value. You can also earn event prediction coins by participating in the event. Use them in the exchange shop to redeem limited time draw tickets, vehicle kits, and other rewards. I encourage you all to enter the game, make progress in the Battle Pass, claim rewards, and use the event prediction coins to redeem more rewards. Now, how do you progress? By simply going to the missions tab here. You simply have to log in, invest at least one guest coin in the race, and invest a certain amount to progress your way through the Master Pass. Now, guaranteeing here, if you have bought the Master Pass, the Deluxe Master Pass, it only costs you $9.99. It will also have its corresponding local currency equivalents, which is not affected by the current currency exchange rate. So, in this case, at level 10, it will grant you the car choice between a 1,000 diamond top-up or the Hyundai Pony Sedan. So this is its stock performance right off the bat. But at maximum ECU, it grants you a big jump at 828 performance points, faster than an R34 Skyline, faster than a Toyota GR Supra. But if you progress even further in the Master Pass, when you get to level 20, you get an ECU plus 4, which you can use to get your car up to ECU 5, assuming you have already exchanged in the mall for a Hyundai Pony. If we go here to the general map, you can select a legendary car custom chest. As stated though it's not the Hyundai Pony for those who did not buy the Master Pass, you can pick between the Fiat 500F or the Volkswagen Beetle 1967. But at the same time, you can also redeem diamonds up to 1,500 gems and 1,500 diamonds and up to 40 free draw tickets. If you have bought the Master Pass, you can claim a Hyundai Pony Sedan, buy a Hyundai Pony Sedan for gems, premium currency, another 1,500 diamonds, and another 40 free limited draw tickets available for the season. Kit blind box tickets can also be purchased here if you don't want to spend on premium currency, which you can use to buy body kits. As well as if you have already cleared the entire chest, you can go and claim the event parts chest if you are lacking in materials. And to be able to participate, you just simply have to join in on to the guest races. Tomorrow morning, we would be getting the guest choices for the second half of the RM Cup. Now let's at least have one recap of who would be competing tomorrow night. So on August 29, starting at 8:30 in the evening, we will have SF Suts, Nov 94, both from Team SF, Experts Kohaku, and PSG Crystallize. For 5B, we have Dryan Goth, Kebetulan, 969 Nahir, and RFF's Nandahama. Do note that on the previous run, 969 Nahir and RFF Nandahama have qualified by default because their other combatants have not participated. But now we will see what they are capable of on tomorrow's race. Following round 2's Group 5, Group 6, which will start at 9:10 in the evening, we will be having Kobagas RM, Prestigious Shibe, SS Jetty, and Ollie Garden for 5A. For 5B, we have HS Mewing, YR Ashbourne, FTG Fleur de Lis, and Sunkoi. For Group 7, we would be having SS Zausi, VV Sharko, ARC Coco, and FTG CCW. For 7B, we have Ryan Cooper, VV Chens, FTG Aq, and RS Rusgoy. And finally, our last set for tomorrow night, which will be happening at 10:30 in the evening. We have another group, the first runner-up of the Legendary Cup, Celeperform, VNTK, and RRIQ. Our last race, also for tomorrow night, would be between RWB Geiru, Fine Cernos, Washed Af, and Yuigao. The first two, we have not seen their performance yet because their fellow racers have forfeited their match, and only left with the two of them, which they just kind of dicked around. So we're not able to see what their performance are, but we'll be able to see how they perform against Yuigao, who had an absolute anime moment in their heat last week, alongside Washed Af, who has washed everyone and hanged them to dry. That is going to be our races for tomorrow night. And just like to remind you all again that this season, up until the end of the regional finals, would be the MF Go season, where you can collect the following vehicles as per your choice. If you want a Prime Legendary, you can go for the Lotus Evija, which is known for its Prime passive called Electronic Revolution, with a performance index similar to that of the Koenigsegg Jesko attack. Or, if you are an anime fan of MF Ghost, 3 collaboration cars are available as Master Series vehicles. We have Sena Moroboshi's Toyota Supra SZ-R. We also have Kanata Katagiri's Toyota GT86. And we also have Shun Aiba's Nissan GTR Nismo from round 4. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how these cars perform, I encourage you all to visit my channel in the Why You Should video series, with the latest video being the review of Shun Aiba's R35. But that's it from me on details of the season and of what's going to be happening tomorrow night. I will see you all tomorrow night. This is Miyogi, and I will see you all tomorrow.